My name is Nancy Brown. I'm the Community Preparedness Program Manager for Sonoma County's Department of Emergency Management. Today I'd like to talk to you about emergency planning. Having an emergency plan is really important so that both you and your family know exactly what to do when disaster strikes. We rarely get a lot of notice for those types of events. An emergency plan is something that you can sit down with your family and do. We have a nice template at socoemergency.org that you can download and then begin to plan. I'm going to go through this guide with you so you really understand the different elements of a good emergency plan. To begin your plan, start with your personal information for you and your family. This information is going to include health insurance information, your doctor or any caregivers. It's also going to include any medical information that's important for a first responder to know about you. A first responder may need to know things like if you have a medical condition like diabetes and those types of things. If you're incapacitated and unable to communicate, having this information written down could save your life. Next for your emergency plan is contact and communications information. Now you need to have two different things in this section. One is personal contacts for you and your family. The other is how you're going to get information to you and your family about what's going on in the disaster. So let's start with your personal contact list. You need to have both local and out-of-state contacts on this list. You need to make sure that those people know that they're contacts also. That's really important because they need to be ready to answer the phone in case of an emergency. Now this out-of-state contact is critical because in a disaster, very often local lines are overloaded. So you may be able to text out of state to somebody when you are completely unable to reach anybody locally. The other thing, of course, is how are you going to get information about the disaster? So this could include, of course, socoemergency.org, where all of the county emergency alert information is placed. It could also include which radio stations or television stations you might want to listen to on a list so that you know immediately where to turn for important news about what's happening in the community. Let's talk about evacuation. It's important to have a solid family evacuation plan. You need to know where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and how your family's going to reunite if you're not all together when required to evacuate. Sonoma Countyans know that evacuation is a very real possibility sometimes of year. So be sure that you have this worked out in advance with every member of your family and everybody understands this plan completely. You need to have two different places to evacuate to. One could be local, for example, a local park. Another needs to be a little farther away so that if you have to evacuate the entire area where you live, you still have a solid reunification plan. Additionally, you need to think about how you're going to get there. If you drive and you know that you have neighbors who don't drive, please reach out to them in advance and find out if you can help them or if they already have friends and family who are going to help them. Additionally, if you know that you don't drive and you're going to need help in an evacuation, please reach out to friends and family and neighbors so that you have a first and second choice of how you're going to be evacuated so that you can save valuable time in a disaster and be sure that everybody in the neighborhood is safe. As you're evacuating, don't forget to take your go bag. It's important to have this 3 days worth of supplies with you for you and your whole family so that you can survive for the next few days. Remember, Sonoma County, be ready together.
I belong to several tsunami warning systems, and they will come through on my phone by text and by email. And typically with a tsunami warning, you're going to get a few hours ahead of the warning. And as soon as you see the warning come through, that is the most important time to take a deep breath and think about what I have to do. Grab the things that are important to you. I grab my go bag and I grab my pets. And my plan has already been put in place to where we're all going to meet, where we're going to go, and how we're going to get there. And to be prepared for that, you have to practice it a couple times. You have to talk with your family, knowing how you're going to get up that hill away from the water coming at me. We know the place way up on the hill and how to get there fast.
You know, think about planning as you plan for yourself. Grab those same type of supplies for your pets. You can take them with you. It's carriers, it's crates, it's leashes, making sure there's identification and there's secondary contacts in case you do get separated from your pet. And make those contacts out of the area as well so that there is somebody that we can reach out to and be able to reunite you with your pet.
I started thinking about who in our neighborhood can't evacuate themselves. Does anyone in our neighborhood know if there's elderly person disabled persons who just can't do it on their own. Does anyone have that list? Is anyone checking on people like that in our neighborhood? The group already had some plans going, but I did bring this up, and I just said, hey, can I go and knock on every door in the neighborhood and ask everybody, do you, if there was an emergency, would you need help to get out or evacuate, or would you need any kind of help?
On the TV, it came out that the creeks in Santa Rosa were over flooding. My daughter saw it and she got scared. When I came into the house, I see all 3 kids at the door in clothing with shoes and jackets ready to leave the house. And I say, what's going on? What happened? And she said, Mama, I saw on TV that the creeks are flooding. And we live near one. So I had to get my brothers ready to tell you guys we need to leave because the rivers and the creeks are flooding. It gave me a sense of security, knowing that going to those events has helped them be prepared by them. If for any case they were to be alone, it showed them how to be ready in case of an event.
A really important part of evacuation planning, and also keeping your pets safe if they're sheltering in place at home, is ID. Animal ID will help keep your pets safe, and it'll help you reunite with your animal when everything is over. Check and make sure that your pets, your horses, and all your other animals have all the identification that you can possibly provide for them.
Some